What is going on, y'all? We are back for the final version, or video, whatever you want to call, final part of this series, and this is the high volume leg day. So the last exercise, our last video was on heavy back hypertrophy biceps. Then we had an off day, and then this is the second and final leg day for the split. Basically, we have an off day prior to the leg day, an off day prior to the squat day, and an off day prior to this, which is the high volume leg day. So this is the 8th day in the series, and it is high volume legs. And wow, that's not even an S. Boom. High volume legs. Now, basically, if you recall from the first part of the series, I was talking about how I leave squats as a standalone day. Squats just like, they don't psych me out, but it's like I get anxious about them because I just want to perform perfectly. So I have a standalone day specifically for squats, which I've really enjoyed doing. I could just maximize and do like 13 sets of squats. However, there's a bunch of other really good leg exercises that you need to incorporate. And if you have a standalone squat day, you have to have that day to incorporate them later in the week, which is what this basically entails. So we're gonna start this with a good warm-up. Basically, I like to superset body weight lunges and body weight air squats, just to get all the joints loosened up. So we're gonna do these two body weight lunges and air squats as a superset. And I'm normally doing about 3 sets and 10 reps of these, just simply to kind of get the blood flowing, get the knees woken up. I train first thing in the morning, wake up at 3, and then train soon after. So for me, like just having woken up, it's good for me to get my knees well lubricated before doing legs. So I'll do 3 sets, 10 reps of those. Then I transition to dumbbell stiff-legged deadlifts. And I love doing these early in the workout because it's like probably the best stretch I get in my hamstrings of any other exercise. Like when you do a stiff-legged deadlift properly, especially with dumbbells, you just get a really good stretch in the hamstrings and you kind of get all those muscle fibers popping. So I'm a huge fan of doing stiff-legged deads, specifically with a dumbbell, soon after the warm-up. And I'm typically doing 1 to 5 sets of these, and I know this is high volumes and we normally have a heavy and hypertrophy split, but I don't like to go really lightweight on all of these because I feel like these are very crucial exercises as well for overall leg development. So I typically go, pretty heavy in these two, typically around the 8 to 10 rep scheme. So on these dumbbell stiff leg deads, I'm doing about 8 reps on all sets there, progressively getting heavier with each set. After this, and these are kind of interchangeable, you can move things around based off how you're feeling, but I like to do leg extensions. And before you unsubscribe and tell me you hate my videos and say I don't know what I'm talking about, I know leg extensions, I spell that right? Yeah, put a lot of strain on the knee. I'm not going crazy heavy on these. This is again just kind of more of a mobility movement for me. I know they're not the safest of exercises. You don't want to just have a whole lot of stress on that knee joint. But like I said, I'm normally doing, this is kind of my hypertrophy movement for the exercise. So I'll do a little bit higher rep scheme, normally around the 12 to 15 reps, and I'm going lighter weights on these. Now, after this, my legs are pretty well warmed up. So I start doing sumo deadlifts. Truth be told, I used to never do sumo deadlifts. I just always did conventional deadlifts. But I've kind of grown to like sumo deadlifts. I feel like I get a lot of engagement in my glutes, a lot of engagement everywhere really. So if you get proper form, you're going wide enough and you're actually stimulating the legs instead of the back, I've been a huge fan of sumo deadlifts. You can go pretty heavy. I feel like my conventional deadlifts on back day have improved from incorporating sumo deads on my leg day. With the sumo deads, this is kind of one of the more heavy compound movements. I'm gonna be doing, like today I did 4 sets of that, but anywhere between 4 and 5 sets usually. And I'm typically doing about 8 reps on these. So after sumo deads, I do barbell hip thrust. which I know is not typically done by most men. Doesn't look super masculine. However, barbell hip thrusters are freaking awesome. Like, I don't know of any other exercise that really stimulates your glutes quite as good as a barbell hip thrust. I mean, squats, like especially if you're going for depth, definitely incorporate the glutes, but when you're training and you're doing a barbell hip thrust and you actually squeeze and hold the movement at the top range of motion, you can feel that burn unlike any other exercise that I've ever done. So, huge fan of barbell hip thrust. I normally do about 4 to 5 sets of these, and typically a little bit higher in reps. I'll normally do 8 to 10, sometimes as high as 12 reps, progressively getting heavier as well. These are kind of like my staples. I'll alternate between like the order of these. I'll oftentimes throw in front squats as well. I'm a huge fan of front squats. So sometimes I'll swap out the either the sumo deads or the barbell hip thrust, and I'll incorporate front squats in its place. I do a little bit higher rep scheme on the front squats, just simply to keep, I don't know, I feel like I get more stimulation when I do a little bit higher reps on the front squats. But this is basically what I have for legs. This once a week in tandem with the standalone squat day earlier in the week, and I feel like my legs are getting a ton of stimulation, ton of growth, and I've been very happy with the increase in strength that I've gotten from this setup over the past month and a half, 2 months. So I'm sticking with it for the foreseeable future. And basically, just to recap, you know, if you haven't seen all these videos, go through and watch the series. There's an overview that shows it, everything broken down, but this is the split I've been currently incorporating, and like I said, I've been getting a lot of success with it. So give it a shot, let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.